The Man Who Hated Cats, a Bard's Parable. There once was a man who hated cats. When first he wed his wife, she asked if they could get a kitten, and he replied, "Absolutely not." She asked why, but he would give no other reason than, "I hate cats." Through all the long years of their marriage, she had no complaints about her husband other than he would not let her have a cat. They truly loved each other and thoroughly enjoyed each other's company. They had several children together, and the little ones quieted her desire to have a cat. However, when their children grew up and moved out of their cottage, the wife started to ask again, "Can we please get a cat?" As before, the man flatly refused. In response, she started every day to point out little things cats are good for. If the man complained about mice, she'd say that a cat could help with that. If his feet were cold, she'd point out that a cat could lay on his feet to keep them warm. If he overslept, she'd tell how a cat woke his owner every morning right on time. But still he'd growl out, "I hate cats and never do I want one around me." So on went their lives, she wanting a cat, and him hating the very idea of them, until one day when they were both very old, the man's wife died peacefully in her sleep. The old man missed his wife, and he began to feel entirely alone. In fact, he missed her so terribly that he even caught himself missing how she constantly pestered him about getting a cat. Then one day he opened the front door of his small cottage and found a cat sitting on his doorstep. He growled, "Get away from here," and kicked at her with his foot. Silently, she scampered away. The next morning, when he opened his door, there she sat again. As before, he shooed her away. This went on for several weeks until finally he gave up and stopped chasing her off. Instead, he simply ignored the fool creature, and since she really did nothing to bother him, this was easy enough to do. Time marched on, and daily the cat somehow drew closer and closer to the old man, until one day, while he took a nap in his cushioned chair, he awoke to find the cat curled up in his lap. Astonished, he sprang to his feet and tossed the cat away from himself. The cat didn't return for a couple of days, and with a slight tinge of regret, the old man caught himself missing the little thing. When the cat returned, he gave her a bite of food as an apology. After that, he regularly awoke from his naps to find her curled up in his lap. Then, one day while the cat lay in his lap, he absent-mindedly put out his hand and stroked her back. In that moment, he discovered that her fur was so soft that all he wanted to do was pet her again, but his stubborn heart would not let him. However, with the passing of time, even his heart gave in to the desire. Finally, a day came that, while he was petting her and enjoying the feeling of her fur, the cat suddenly started to purr loudly. He was utterly astonished. The sound was so delightful, and the vibration of her body so loving, that he caught himself wondering why he ever hated cats in the first place. He puzzled over this for a long while, until finally he started to remember why he hated the creatures so much. "When I was a very young child, one of your kind attacked me, and for that reason I've hated all cats ever since," he admitted to the cat. "But if I hadn't judged you all by that one, we could have enjoyed your company for the many long years of our lives, and my wife wouldn't have had a single complaint against me."